Oh, mute. Mute, that's good.
Thank you, boys and girls. I'm going to try to do this without the microphone, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm hoping that you'll give me your undivided attention and respect. I want to thank Rabbi Kirsch for inviting me here this afternoon to speak to you guys. He's correct. My name is Leonard Luciano. I am the Essex County District 4 freeholder. Many of you are probably saying in your mind, you know, what's a freeholder? What does that mean? Who are you? Well, I'm an elected official on the county level. We have a freeholder board which is made up of 9 people. They are all elected. 4 of them are freeholders at large, and they represent all 22 municipalities, towns and cities in the county of Essex. And then 5 of us are district freeholders, and they represent just a small portion of the towns and cities. For example, I'm a District 4 freeholder. I represent 11 of the West Essex communities, including Livingston, Milburn, Roseland, the Caldwells, Verona, Roseland. I am here today for 2 reasons. I wanted to introduce myself to you and talk to you briefly about county government. But most importantly, I heard about the campaign about addictions and what this school is participating in, and I wanted to share a personal story. But before I do that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 32 years old. I'm a 1999 graduate of Livingston High School. I grew up right down the street from here. I've been a New Jersey and Essex County native my whole life. I went to college in New Jersey. I started at Seton Hall University. I moved on to Montclair State, and I just finished my doctorate in educational leadership back at Seton Hall University. I got involved in government and politics about 8 years ago. I was a young man in my 20s, still in college. I really enjoyed government and politics, even though it wasn't my major in college. It was just something I wanted to get involved in. I was a volunteer on a lot of local elections, for mayor, council. Then I moved up and I got involved as a volunteer for some of the federal elected positions, like congressman, U.S. senator. And then one day a light bulb went off and I said, you know what, I like government and politics so much that maybe I want to run myself and get involved. So what did I do? I was 25 years old. At the time I was living in the community of West Caldwell, which is a couple of towns over from here. And I took out petitions. I got enough signatures from residents of the town, and I ran for municipal council. And I lost. And I was a little disappointed. But when I was studying some of the history of our famous elected officials, including people like President Abraham Lincoln, you realize that it's not easy to win an election, and in many cases, you do lose the first time or the first couple of times. So what do? I ran again, and I lost again. But this time, instead of losing by 600 votes, I lost by 17 votes. And then I ran again, and I lost the 3rd time for municipal council in West Caldwell. And I was just about to give up, and someone said to me, you know what, you really are passionate. Maybe you're just not running for the right office. Maybe you should run for another office. So I decided to run for freeholder. And we are like the county council. Council members in the towns control the budget for the town. And the freeholders, which is really like a county councilman, control the budget for the county. So I ran for freeholder, and I won, shockingly. Surprised a lot of folks, and I defeated the mayor of Cedar Grove. And this was back in 2011. And so one of my jobs and responsibilities since I was elected was to control and determine how we spend a $760 million budget. Every year there's a portion of taxes from Essex County that the freeholders and the county executive control. About 40% of those dollars are already earmarked. Basically, the state tells us how we have to spend it. We have to have a jail in Essex County. The state says we have to pay for it, and pay for the inmates, and pay for the workers. We have to have elections. The state says, nope, you have to have elections, and you have to pay for those machines. And There's a few other things that I'm not going to get into that the state says you have to have, but then there's the things that we don't have to have that we control. One of the things that I do as a freeholder is I am on the Turtleback Zoo Committee. So we determine how we're going to spend money to take care of the Turtleback Zoo. Has anyone been to the Turtleback Zoo before here in Essex County? Okay, hands down, great zoo. But you know what? The animals, please don't talk though, guys. I know you've been there, just give me some respect. I'm only going to be here for about a half hour before I have to go. And I actually, on Wednesday nights is when the freeholders meet. We meet 3 Wednesdays a month in the city of Newark, where our offices are and where our chambers are. And then 1 Wednesday a month, we meet out in one of the municipalities or the other towns. We borrow their chambers for the night, so we may meet in West Orange, or we may meet in Montclair once a month. Gives people an opportunity to come before us. One of the other jobs I do is I oversee public works. We take care of some of the county roads. If there's potholes that need to be paved, somebody has to pay for it. We have to determine how much money to set aside. To snow plow in the wintertime, one of my responsibilities is make sure we have enough snow plows that are hired or ready to go in case we have a bad storm. You know, salt for the roads. We also take care of county parks. Any of the county parks, I'm trying to think, I know in Livingston we have Riker Hill Art Park, we have Grover Cleveland Park in Caldwell, Verona Park in Verona, so on and so forth. There's a lot of parks. Oh, and reservations. Eagle Rock Reservation, South Mountain Reservation. All this is county land, and so I sit with the other 8 freeholders determining how to take care of it and how to spend the money. I was elected to a 3-year term in 2011, which means next year I'm up for re-election if I decide to run again. Freeholder form of government is partisan. There are Republicans and Democrats that run for elected office. There's no secret, it's public knowledge. I am an elected Democrat, and I have been a Democrat since I registered to vote back at 18, the age of 18. But I get along with a lot of Republicans. And while I may not see eye to eye with some of their ideology or some of their beliefs, I have a great respect for people on the other side of the aisle. And with a lot of the towns that I represent, I have to work alongside Republican mayors and councils, along with Democrats and some independents who consider themselves undeclared and would rather just stay neutral. But the real reason why I'm here today is to talk to you a little about not about so much about freeholder in Essex County and government and stuff like that, or my resume, but was to talk to you about something that happened to me a little over a month ago. And that dates back to March 14th. A day I'll probably never forget the rest of my life, and I'm just glad to have the rest of my life, because on March 14th I was in a major motor vehicle accident. It wasn't a car accident that I take lightly, where somebody says, oh, you know, you got in a car accident, but everything's okay. I wasn't okay. I spent several days in the hospital. I had 4.5 hours of surgery. I was really lucky that even though my injuries that I sustained were major, they were all healable, I want to say, because I was able to rehabilitate my leg, which was broken, and I was able to stitch up my face. So much so, unless you guys are like right on top of me, you might not see the scarring on my chin. I had reconstructive surgery on my eyelid, and I had 40 stitches in my face. So what does it have to do with you guys coming into the auditorium to hear about me and my car accident? Well, the reason behind my car accident is pretty plain and simple. It's right here in my hand. How many of you in here have a cell phone? Okay, hands down. I'm not sure if does anyone in here drive yet? Has anyone here been behind the wheel? Okay, put your hands up. Okay, doesn't matter how you drive, whether it's on your permit, your provisional license, or your license. Well, let me tell you something that you probably, I hope, already know. If you don't, I'm going to reiterate it. Driving a motor vehicle is a serious responsibility. Serious responsibility, and it's a serious safety issue. And you have to always be aware of your circumstances, because if not, you're going to end up like I did, or you could end up worse than I did.